The following program is intended for mature audiences.
A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
Welcome into the Weekend Weed studio. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene. It is the Sportsocracy. And welcome in to the 7-round mock draft for the Cincinnati Bengals. They've got the number 5 overall pick and a whole bunch more. In this draft, you're going to be able to hear every one of their picks and all of our instant analysis here in the Wicked Weed studio starting on Thursday. Remember, we're live for all 3 days of the NFL draft. Hit the subscribe button so you get all of the draft prep content as well as knowing when we go live for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. The number 5 pick in the first round belongs to the Cincinnati Bengals. They're gonna not do what we think they should do. Penny Sewell needs to be the pick at number 5, but he's not going to be. It's going to be Ja'Marr Chase. They're going to team up Joe Burrow with his favorite target from 2 years ago at LSU. Ja'Marr Chase is an unbelievable wide receiver. I don't know why you don't believe in him.
Because I've had one player that I've ever evaluated that was like Ja'Marr Chase, and it was Justin Blackmon. And now, granted, there's one predilection that Justin Blackmon had that Mr. Chase does not seem to have, and that's that he liked to go to the cloud. Unfortunately, my problem with Ja'Marr Chase is that he's a 6-foot wide receiver that plays like he's 6'5". Mm-hmm. And I don't know how that's going to translate in the league. This is a high point guy, beat a guy to the ball. Well, okay. And it also scares me that your quarterback's going to be running for his life because you're not taking Penny Sewell here like you should. Mm-hmm. Penny Sewell should be the pick here. I don't care what anybody says, that should be the pick. It's not going to be. They're going to take Ja'Marr Chase. Mm-hmm. And I don't really have necessarily a problem with the talent. I have Jalen Waddle ahead of him. I have Devontae Smith ahead of him. I think what he does well may not translate, and it may take some time to translate if it does.
Here's the other thing. I don't think it's a need. Wide receiver's not a need.
No, because Auden Tate would be a great red zone weapon and a nice third receiver. Cincinnati does not seem to agree with us on that, though.
Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins, you don't need to add one at number 5, but they're going to anyway. So the tackle pick will then come in the second round.
No, because Alex Leatherwood's not a tackle. He's a guard. Okay. He'd be a very good guard. Be a very big guard. 6'6", 310. I mean, he's very strong, but there's some inconsistent tape with him. I don't think he's very agile. I think he can be hidden as a guard. I hate the way this breaks down for Cincinnati when they don't take Penny Sewell at 5. Mm-hmm. If you took him at 5, there's still receivers on the board that I really like a De'Ami Brown out of Carolina, a guy that we covered with the Tar Heel Radio Network. I just look at this and go, I don't like how this falls for you. I don't mind Alex Leatherwood. Some teams see him as a tackle. I don't. He's just a gigantic human being, and there's tape. And by God, if you want to like him, there is tape that you will like him. Mm-hmm. If you don't want to like him, there's tape that you will see that too. And you think he gets kind of covered up because of the talent that was on that line. How much better can he get? Because that's always been a knock on Alabama guys. I think if you take him with the intention of him being a guard, you'll be fine. If you take him with the intention of him being a tackle, I think you could be disappointed.
Trey Hendrickson comes over to take the place of Carl Lawson, who left in free agency. They got Sam Hubbard as well. How do you see Rashad Weaver fitting into this team?
I think he can be a 3-down lineman in the NFL. I think he will immediately come in and be good against the run. He's a very strong player, very good power player, a lot of good tape, got a lot of moves. This is not a raw guy. The thing on this guy is that I think his floor is really high, but I think his ceiling's really low. No quick twitch, not real fast off the jump. But that's exactly what I think about Trey Hendrickson. So I think having somebody like Trey Hendrickson on the other side of him, they did a lot of things with Carl Lawson. Carl Lawson was a very productive player in this system, wound up getting a very sizable deal from my New York Jets. I like Rashad Weaver more than a lot of teams do. I think he's one of the few guys that's not a pass rush specialist that's an edge that comes in this point of the draft. I think this is a guy that you will look back 3 years from now and say that was one of the 35 best players that got drafted in this draft. Mm-hmm. And the number next to his name is going to be markedly higher than that.
All right, at the 69th pick, Rashad Weaver, the edge rusher out of Pittsburgh. In the 4th round, Stone Forsythe, tackle out of Florida.
You know what he does real good? He beats big real good. He's real. There's a fucking lot of him. 6'9", 315. I cannot teach a guy to be that large. No. I can teach you to block. I think this pick would be with the ultimate intention that he winds up replacing Riley Reef down the line.
But is there such a thing as being too big?
Yes, but I don't necessarily think Stone Forsythe is that. I think he can be, because he's very light on his feet for a guy that's as big as he is.
Okay.
Not saying he's agile by offensive lineman standards. He's very agile for a fucking dancing elephant, which is what he is, because he's huge. I think in the right scheme, he can be. This is one of my favorite players in the draft. I think he's going to go overlooked because people say the same thing you did he allowed, I mean, in 3 years of playing at Florida, he allowed 5 sacks ever.
Wow.
And that's as a 6'9" gigantic human that had no tight end to cover him up. Mm-hmm. That's pretty damn good. And I think if put in the right situation, he can be a long-term tackle. Just don't ask him to do much right off the jump. He can start as a swing tackle. He could be your 6th tackle, help in the run game, because he's a much better pass blocker than he is run blocker. But I think if you put him in as a swing, he can be a good swing tackle to start and then evolve from there.
In the 5th round at 149 overall, Charles Snowden, the edge rusher out of Virginia.
Yeah, you know what he does good? He beats big good. 6'7", 240.
Theme here.
He's 6'7", 240. I'm scared he can't add weight, and he's going to have to in the NFL. There's some really good tape on Charles Snowden. He had a great game against Duke, had a great game against Carolina and Miami, and that kind of tells me a lot. He got wiped out against Clemson. There's a little level of disinterest to him that kind of bothers me, and I can't tell if it's disinterest or if teams that scheme against him were just taking him out of plays. He's not a naturally fluid athlete, but I can't teach you to be 6'7". I can't teach you to be 6'7" with long arms, and yes, there's another pick on this screen that I'm going to say the exact same thing about.
Mm-hmm. 3 picks in the 6th round. The first one, DJ Daniels, a safety out of Georgia.
Yeah, he's 5'11" and has almost a 7-foot wingspan.
He does not bees big.
He does not bees big, but he bees long.
Long.
And the thing about him is that he's a very good tackler. I've graded him as a safety. I don't see him as a corner. He got drugged down a sidewalk at the Senior Bowl. I mean, he was god-awful at the Senior Bowl. But they played him as a corner, and I don't see him as that. He doesn't have high-end speed. I see him as a high-end Georgia Loca type of safety in the backside. And he was coached really well at Georgia. Technique's good. He's very balanced. He can get beat at the catch point, but again, converting him to safety, that becomes less of a problem. I think he would be a value in the 6th round.
At 202 out of Grambling State, a guard, David Moore.
Do you see a theme that I'm trying to protect Joe Burrow because that big, gnarly, jagged scar on his leg really bothers me?
Yeah.
David Moore's a guy that Grambling didn't play in 2020. The tape on him was really good from 2019. Lower level of competition. This is a guy you're going to have to be patient with. There's a lot of good technique in this guy. I think if he played at a bigger school, we would be talking about him in the 4th to 5th round as opposed to the 6th to 7th round. Didn't opt out by choice. I'm going to say that with every player that plays at a school like this that didn't play. So I'm not dinging the guys that didn't have the opportunity to play. I don't think they all got fat, which is seemingly every other evaluator does.
Right.
This is a guy that I had a 5th round grade on coming into the year. Had he played, I think that would have gone up. Technique is good. Another piece to protect Joe Burrow, which is the number one most important thing I think they can do.
235th overall, Tuff Borland, linebacker out of Ohio State. Staying in state with the Cincinnati Bengals.
It's a guy that's real good against the run. I think he will start out as a special teamer type linebacker. He's a pretty good tackler. Nothing special physically. That's why he's going to fall. There's some good tape on him, too. There are some people that think he's going to go markedly higher than this. I'm just not one of them.
Mm-hmm. The Cincinnati Bengals 2021 NFL mock draft, all 7 rounds. You're going to hear every pick in our live analysis here in the Wicked Weed studio. starting on Thursday night. All 3 days of the NFL Draft, we will be live. So be sure to hit that subscribe button for not only the Cincinnati Bengals draft prep coverage, but for every team 7-round mock drafts going out as we speak. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene. Hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.